Before we dive into the latest breaking news around the New Orleans Saints and the hire of Brandon Staley, I just want to take a quick second to say thank you. Yesterday, we asked for like 120 people to subscribe. We have had over 100. I just looked at it. 75. 175 subscribers were added on our last video. So first of all, welcome to 175 members of our Golden Gang. And secondly, don't stop now. We're on the road to 42K, and we'll get there before you know it. Hit that sub button for free Saints videos. It is officially official. Pen has been put to paper, and Brandon Staley has been named the Saints defensive coordinator. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I am your host, Trace Girouard. Thank you so much for tuning in. I got to just say this. We saw this coming. We've talked about it on the channel plenty of times, and I've even gone on great rants about why I think the Saints should hire Brandon Staley. So I'm not going to sit here and bug you guys about why this was a great hire. I will sit here and bug you about what you should expect to see with Brandon Staley being your defensive coordinator. And, you know, I think that the big thing here is going to be a big schematic change on the defense. Well, I mean, honestly, on both sides of the ball with Kellen Moore running things, but defensively, no doubt about it. And, you know, interesting to note, the Saints, they've been running a 4-3 defense under Steve Spagnuolo, but then they transferred to a 3-4 defense when Coach Ryan took over. And then when Dennis Allen came back, took over for the defensive coordinator, they were running a 4-3. So if you guys don't know what a 4-3 scheme is, it means you got 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, usually 1 high safety. You got your 2 outside corners, and you know sometimes that also allows you to have a nickel or a slot cornerback as well. So, you know, with the 4-3 defense, I think the first thing that you can expect to see is a lot more opportunities for guys like Brian Brzee, Isaiah Foskey, Carl Granderson especially. To be totally honest, and Cam Jordan could also see a little bit of an uptick in production as well. But, you know, what we will see, you see the 4-3. This is what we used to have. Time to throw it away. We're going to be moving to a 3-4. So the defensive ends on both sides, I think you could go, we're not going to name players that aren't currently under the roster. So Chase Young not under the roster or not under contract right now. So Carl Granderson, Cam Jordan, and then on the inside, you have the combination of Colin Saunders or a Brian Brzee or Christian Boyd. You pick John Ridgeway. You pick your nose tackle. You pick your middle of the pack guy, not the middle pack, middle of the defensive line guy. And then you see you have your 2 outside linebackers. Those are your like edge rushers, OLB, defensive end. That's kind of when you see that. So you actually can see a lot of good production from a guy who would take over in that edge spot, you know, hand out of the dirt. You're standing up as a pass rusher. I do think that this is actually a really good move for the New Orleans Saints, and it's a little bit more modern. It's going to cause problems for opposing defense or opposing offenses. And on top of that, one thing that I really like about it is it's going to be stressful for other defenses as well. So keep saying that, other offenses as well. So I think that this is going to be a really good shift, and I think so far the we'll call them Moore's 4, Kellen Moore's 4 main coaches. Doug Nussmeier, Brandon Staley, Phil Galiano, and then, of course, Kellen Moore. That rounds out your main coaches for the Saints coaching staff. And I got to say, I like it. I think it's a good group. I'm a big fan of this coaching staff, so I want you guys to let me know down in the comment section. What do you think of the Saints coaching staff? I'm a big fan. I like that it's young. I like that it's fresh. I like that it's a new thing. To be totally honest, I'm very, very excited to see what this coaching staff is capable of. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more and add some more context around the Brandon Staley hire, how it came to be, all of that stuff. And then I got some actually really good information to give you at the end of the show. So stick around here for just a few minutes. Really quick, I got to tell you about Public Rec. Today's presenting sponsor, I keep talking about him because I'm obsessed with this product. I absolutely love this shirt. Right now, you want to see this? Look, whole outfit sponsored by Public Rec. I'm rocking the pants. I'm rocking the shirt. I'll tell you what, I'm so comfortable and I'm so cozy in this freezing weather. Public Rec is absolutely amazing. It's cold outside. It's February. I hate the cold. And to be totally honest, I'm also a guy who believes I deserve to be comfortable in whatever I'm wearing, no matter what I'm doing. That's where Public Rec can come in. For a limited time, our listeners get 20% off your entire order with code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. That's 20% off when you use promo code CHAT20. when you click the link in the comments or description of this video or visit publicrec.com. Their pants are designed to be as comfortable as your favorite sweats, but way more stylish. We're talking super soft fabric, no stiff seams, and enough stretch to keep up with whatever your day throws at you. So this February, stop settling for the same old stuff and step up your comfort game with Public Rec. It's about time you treat yourself, so use the link in the comments and description of this video, publicrec.com. Use code CHAT20. You'll get 20% off your entire order. It's a limited time offer, so I highly encourage you to go get geared up today. If you need if you want to be a guy who gets your Father's Day gift way in advance, you got a birthday coming up, I think Public Rec is an awesome gift for anybody, whether, fellas, come on. Look how good these shirts are. They got everything you need. So go get a new wardrobe, revamp your style, and check out Public Rec. All righty, let's get back on track here. Brandon Staley, he emerged as a favorite for the Saints actually earlier this week. Again, we broke that down. We've talked about it. I think that it's a good hire. I've said that already. But, it is actually pretty interesting. In case you forgot, when Brandon Staley was in the role he's now in as a defensive coordinator, that's where he earned all of his stripes and got the opportunity to be a head coach because he had the #1 defense in 2020 when the Rams went on to win the Super Bowl. Now, granted, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, maybe they're the reason that he was able to have such a good team. That being said, you're going to have to add some players. You're going to have to add some more talent. You're going to have to get younger. You have to get more athletic. You're going to have to get fresher. Like this, I love the team that we have. There's a lot of great players, a lot of vets that are old and have had good tape at one point in time. But, we do need to update and we do need to modernize this defense if we want to stay competitive and get back on top of the NFC South. Now, Nick Underhill also added a little bit of context here as well. They actually also were kind of interested in Colorado defensive coordinator Robert Livingston. He was under consideration as well. We also saw the names are slipping me right now, but the Eagles and the Vikings defensive backs coaches were also possibly going to be hired, or were also considered as defensive coordinators. But just to kind of tell you guys what I think here, I really like this young coaching staff. Like, to be totally honest, Brandon Staley, Kellen Moore, doesn't seem like not Kellen Moore, I guess, but Brandon Staley, for sure, doesn't seem like people are going to be banging on the window saying, we want Brandon Staley, give him to us, we need him. I don't think it's going to happen. You have a very young head coach in Kellen Moore who's 36 years old. You have a very young defensive coordinator who's Brandon Staley that's 42 years old. I think this is a really nice young crew and a young core squad to lead the team, get more modernized, get younger, and get a little bit more fresh. This feels like an entirely new team already. Like, just straight up, everything about this team feels so different. It feels entirely new. And we have only seen one roster move be made. And it was signing Clyde Edwards-Helaire to a one-year contract. We haven't seen any sort of roster construction. We haven't seen any roster deconstruction yet. I got to say right now, just purely based off this coaching staff alone, I love what the team is doing. I actually think they're making a lot of really good decisions. And I'm really, really excited to see how Kellen Moore and how Brandon Staley and how Doug Nussmeier, how they can build their roster and where they add personnel, what players do they bring in. I think this is just going to be an entirely different thing that we've been totally accustomed to knowing for the better part of 15, 20 years. So, I'll say this. I mentioned it already, but I think guys like Isaiah Foskey and Carl Granderson and Cam Jordan could see an uptick in production. And to be totally honest, I also think with Isaiah Foskey, he is approaching bust status. He is, he needs to get on the field. He needs to do something. Maybe he gets the opportunity. Maybe he gets the chance. Stand up as a pass rusher, maybe that's exactly what he needed. Just a little bit of a change in scheme. Not saying that it's going to fix everything, guaranteed. But it could. It might. And if what we were doing wasn't working, if you keep doing that thing, guess what? It's still not going to work. So if you want improvement, you got to make changes, and I think this is a good change. Ultimately, I'm happy with this Brandon Staley hire. I'm happy with the Doug Nussmeier hire. I'm very happy with the Kellen Moore hire. And shout out to Phil Galiano as well. I mean, he got promoted as a special teams coordinator. He's been with the team, learning under Darren Rizzi. So I think that this is just all in all a really good coaching staff. I think that they're building a lot of good things. Time will tell. We'll have to see what the roster is going to do. I think they're on the right path, though. And, that's all you can really ask for when you're winning 5 games. Just get back on track, figure things out, and let's go back and win the NFC South. Now, answer this question for me before you hop on out here. Do you like the Brandon Staley hire? Just give me a yes or a no down in the comments section. I'm a fan of it. If you're not a fan of it, I'm just going to go ahead and say get the sour taste of him being a head coach for the Chargers out of your mouth. I think that Brandon Staley is he could be like a guy like Dennis Allen or Vic Fangio, or great defensive coordinators. Maybe not head coaches, though. Maybe not. We're not going to hire them as head coaches today, at least in this NFL. So I'm a big fan of it. I hope you guys are too. If you're not, tell me why. Now, I also post on social media. I actually posted a graphic about this before we even filmed this video. So if you want to check it out, you want to give me a follow. I'm on X or Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. The handle's all the same, Trace Girouard 48, except for on Instagram, there's an underscore at the back end. Make life easy. It's linked in the comments and description of this video. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.